I would love to ask you a question. Once you throw back to your own childhood, ulikuwa unachezaga wapi? Where do you used to play? Yo, it's Coleman Chromatic the Gravity from Kyaro, and I would love to welcome you to this indoor active play space designed by Kyaro. This is an environment specifically built for one of the most important things a child can do, play. At Kyaro, we design and manufacture assistive devices, fitness and wellness equipment, and early childhood development tools. And over the 6 years of our work, we have learned something that has changed how we think about children. The profound impact lack of play has on the growth and development of a child and how they thrive. This is the reason that we have designed this room. And in this video, I'll walk you through every piece of equipment that is in here. Who is it for? Where is it from? And what does it do? And most importantly, what does it give your child? But before we go further, I would love to ask you a question. Once you throw back to your own childhood, ulikuwa unachezaga wapi? Where do you used to play? Maybe it was climbing a tree or anything that you could find, whether it's a wall or a fence, whether it's playing in a muddy patch, whether it's playing in a sandy area. You weren't thinking development. You were just playing. But something remarkable was happening. Your body was growing stronger. Your brain was learning how to solve problems, and you are learning how to regulate your emotions. These are all things that a child learns through play. But the world has changed so vastly and so fast that we do not have these spaces. We live in apartments. The muddy patches have become roads. The sand areas are not accessible. Therefore, this space exists to bring that back. Everything in an active play space is a carefully designed version of what children has always sought for and engaged with whenever the world has given them a chance. It's giving a space for the child to freely engage and play and develop their bodies, emotions, and brains. Stay with me as I walk you through the room and we learn together what this space does for your child and how it helps them grow, develop, and thrive. As we go through the room, we'll start with the youngest among us and then work our way up. The first thing we will look at is the floor bed. As you can see, it's very low and close to the ground, and it has an open space that allows the child to crawl out. This concept is based on Dr. Maria Montessori's theory that when babies are given a chance to move and explore freely, it allows them to build their confidence, it gives them autonomy, and it shows them that the world is safe and accessible. So with this bed, when the baby wakes up in the morning, they are not confined. They can move around, move out of the bed, access their play space, and perform free movement. And all of this is very foundational in early gross motor function development. It also gives them emotional confidence that stays with them for life. And as they crawl out of bed, you also see that there is a play mat here, which is an area they can crawl. You can have some of their toys here so that when they wake up, they can start exercising that autonomy to play with different toys and explore the environment. Or they can move out and go to the Pikler Triangle and the climbing board, which we'll look at later. But this is the necessity of a floor bed, different from a high bed where they will need an adult to move out, or it will be dangerous for them to move out of the bed. It's also very much different from a crib that contains them as they wake up. There is nothing they can do until an adult picks them out and puts them on the floor. So this is a must-have in an indoor play active space or in a baby's room. And it can be used for babies from birth to their toddlerhood and all the way up to 3 years old. Secondly, let's look at this Montessori mirror and pull-up bar. This setup comes from Montessori philosophy of education, and it's borrowed from the world of ballet. And it became widely used after Amy Pikler and Montessori educators showed how powerful self-reflection and independent movement is, even in the first years of life. This setup can start being used for babies as early as 3 or 4 months old as they start showing a sense of visual awareness. The mirror makes a child a subject of their own attention. Babies study themselves, their faces, their hands, and their movements. This helps them build body awareness, visual tracking, and the very first sense of self. The pull-up bar is a tool for standing. It supports children to achieve one of the most important and earliest milestones, standing. It allows them to challenge themselves to stand up safely. This helps them build leg strength, coordination, and balance. Remember back then when a child would pull up on a low branch or a fence post just to learn to stand up, working so hard so that they could see the world from a new height? That instinct is what this pull bar is providing. Next, let's look at the Pikler Triangle, one of the most celebrated equipment in early childhood development. In early 1930s, Dr. Emil Pikler, a Hungarian pediatrician, made a radical observation. Children who were given the freedom to move without adults pushing them to achieve developmental milestones grew much stronger, more coordinated, and had better body awareness. The Pikler Triangle can start being used for babies as soon as 6 months old when they start learning how to stand up, all the way until they are 6 years old. Climbing builds gross motor strength, legs, arms, and core, while demanding balance and spatial awareness. But the deeper benefit is cognitive. The baby must look up at the runs, plan their route, problem solve, and plan their way to safely navigate this nuclear triangle. And this is executive function, usually happening from age 1 or 2. And because no one tells them how to use it, they build something else, which is also very important: real confidence. The kind of confidence that comes from doing something hard alone and in your own terms. The Pikler Triangle is an either a safer version of what you have seen when you see a child trying to climb a tree, figuring out each branch, planning hand and leg placements, and deciding how high to go. So this gives that same developmental benefits as the child is climbing a tree. What happens here, they're much safer, they can be washed, and they can be better protected, and it fits in an indoor environment like this. Now let's look at the wall bars and the monkey ladder system. The wall bars, also known as Swedish ladder, were designed in 1800s by a Swedish gymnastic pioneer. These can start being used by a child as soon as 18 months old when they start gripping and stepping up. And the monkey ladder can start being used around age 3 when the child has better grip strength. But in early years, the monkey bar can be used to train a baby to have a better grip strength, but it should be done under supervision, and there should be better crash mats to protect the child when they fall. These two, the wall bar and the monkey bars, help build upper body strength, grip strength, and general body fitness and agility. It also requires bilateral coordination, both parts of the brain working in rhythm, which research has shown to consistently be linked to reading, writing, and learning. This can also be linked to what we have always seen: why children like to climb in spaces, why children climb on our sofas, or on trees, or on fences, on tables. So this helps them, but again, it's in a much safer and indoor setting, and it allows the child to grow, understand their body, and grow much fitter, healthier, and stronger. And in the middle of this structure, we have this climbing net, which also can be used for children 18 months and older for climbing. What's beautiful about the climbing net is that it's never the same twice. It changes every time responding to the child's body movement, which is very important in helping the child learn in balance, coordination, and sensory processing. So this is a very nice challenge for them, as it enables them to plan and respond accordingly as this climbing structure changes. So they climb all the way from that wall bar to the monkey ladder and down below. In this indoor active play space, we also have a few plug and play equipment. The first one is this swing. uh, which we all know that children love swimming very much. But it's not just play. Again, it helps them regulate and develop their vestibular system, their spatial awareness, their balance, and their coordination as they play. Their body learns on how best to regulate and remain safe as they move through space. The next one, and this can be used for babies around 2 years and older independently. And the next one is this baby swing, which can be used for babies all the way from 6 months to 3 years old. This also has the same function as the normal swing, but this is for babies when they still do not have the capacity to hold on to the normal swing themselves. But as soon as they are able to sit upright and have trunk control, this is a very good thing. And again, it helps them build their vestibular system and spatial awareness, and it helps calm their sensory system uh, properly and provides sensory integration. And the last one in plug and play in this setup is this rope ladder. Similar to the climbing net, it's never the same twice. It shifts as the child climbs, which enables them to um, develop their cognitive capacities to plan and adjust according to the environment. And it can be used for children who are 2 years or older. There's also this climbing board that can attach easily to the Pikler Triangle. It can attach to the wall bar system, but it also can attach to the archer or rocker. So on this side, it has these climbing runs, the straight ones, and the like obstacle ones. And what this helps is that it helps to improve grip strength and coordination of the child, but also most importantly, it helps to grow their cognitive capacity, because especially once they get to this one, they must plan their movement, they must improve their balance so that they can successfully climb here. And it can be used for children that are 12 months old all the way to 6 years old. For lower, younger children, they can attach to lower rungs for safety, but for older children, they can attach to higher rungs as they grow much stronger and coordinated. And on the other side of this connecting board, and there's this sliding board, which is very important for engaging the proprioceptive system, which is the system tells us gives us information about especially our body. It's body awareness, and so it engages our system and helps them regulate that. So it can be used, as I mentioned earlier, in that three equipment: the archer, the Pikler Triangle, and the monkey bar and wall bar system. And this is a must-have in this set. All right. And the other thing we have in this setup is this archer, which is usually used alongside the Pikler Triangle and the connecting board. So the child can climb over all the way through, which helps build their upper body strength and their grip strength. But also, this is very much purpose. When you turn it around, it acts as a rocker. So you can put a cushion and the child can be rocked, which is very good for engaging their vestibular system, which is the relation of their body in relation to the earth or the gravity. But also, as they grow, you can turn it around and it becomes a desk. And it can also become a play item like a goal where the kids can play with the ball and use it. So this is very multi-purpose, and they can start using it at 6 months old all the way to their pre-teens. As it turns into a desk, it turns into a storage. So for example, once you put it in a corner like this, it can be used for storing things at a corner. But also when you put it in the first setting that I put, you can put play items and the baby can crawl under there to play in it as a small nook or play den of their own. And you can attach like Christmas lights or stuff like that that can keep them engaged in play. Every piece of equipment you have seen in this phase was chosen or designed with one question in mind. What does this give a child? Not entertainment, not stimulation for its own sake, but real embodied developmental experience. The kind that builds strong bodies, capable minds, and resilient children.
Play is not a luxury. It is how children become who they're meant to be. And on this, I'd love to give a live example that happened when we were setting up this space. Our client, the baby who's going to be using this space, had never seen a Pikler Triangle before, or used it, or been taught how to use it. But the first moment she saw it and we placed it in front of her, her first instinct was to crawl towards it and started pulling herself up. No one had taught her this, but that was her exploring and her natural instinct telling her how to learn to use that equipment and explore how her body can move and interact with the environment. And this is what these spaces are meant to be, to allow the kids to explore and become who they can be and who they are meant to be. At Kyaro, we bring together the science of rehabilitation, the wisdom of Montessori, Pikler, and other educators, and the timeless knowledge of how children have always played, to create spaces where every child can learn and grow. And this is the reason that this space has been designed to accommodate and grow with the child. As they're less than a year now, they can keep using this space as they grow, but the space can also accommodate other children, the friends who come to play with her, and they can use it all the way into their pre-teens. Remember, play is the work of a child. Michezo ndio kazi ya watoto. So reach out to us to learn more about these active play spaces, whether indoor or outdoor, and learn how you can set up yours. And in the coming videos, we'll keep delving into individual equipment so that you learn how this equipment supports your child and how you can use it to support their growth of their body, their mind, and their whole self. Asanteni sana, karibu.